What's up? Jeff Reber, ERA Heaven Realty, another Jacksonville real estate video. I'm here with one of Jacksonville's finest, David Cleveland from Alpha Foundation. I've been bugging David with foundation questions, issues, phone calls, and even a couple jobs here and there over the last, I think, 5 years that you've been with Alpha. So tell me about what it is that you do, what your daily routine looks like, Alpha, yourself, whatever else you want to interject into there.
Sure. Thanks, Jeff, for having me. So I am with Alpha Foundations. We specialize in installing products for foundation repair, crawl space repair, crawl space moisture mediation, and then the settling and sinking of concrete slabs. Our company's been in business since 2002. We're looking at about 9,000 homes a year. So it's something that is definitely happening in a lot of places, in a lot of homes, new or old. So it's definitely keeping us busy.
So 9,000 homes a year, that's across Northeast Florida, North and Central. What region does that cover?
Sure. So our company stretches from Pensacola over to Jacksonville, and then we have the southern side of Georgia. So we have the top part of Florida and the southern side of Georgia.
Okay, cool. And so I just thought it'd be fun to have a quick conversation with you, because I'm sure there are people that will watch this that walk through their house, and I know this comes up most often in my real estate world whenever I replace flooring and I see a concrete foundation that's got cracks in it. And I go, oh my gosh, the house is falling apart.
Sure.
And so I guess the first question was just, how do I know that that's normal, or can I anticipate that more settling will take place since a certain amount has already taken place? Like, how do I predict the future on the crack in my foundation?
Sure. So that's a really great question. A lot of people pull up carpet and they see cracks in the concrete. And there's two guarantees with concrete. It's going to get hard and it's going to crack. So just because you have a cracked piece of slab doesn't always necessarily mean that you have a foundation issue. And that's where we come in. We come on out there and we take a zip level and we take floor elevations, and we're checking to see, are there areas that are lower than other areas? And there's a certain standard of tolerance that once you get beyond that, then we would recommend that maybe you should probably get something done to correct the issue.
Okay.
And so there is no time.
Let's pump the brakes on that for a second to clarify terminology. So you said you take a zip level.
Correct.
And explain to me what that means.
Sure. So it's just this yellow square box that has this long cord attached to it that we then connect to a rod. And basically the rod's got a point at the bottom of it that we put on the slab. And so we're going to make a 0 point, which is roughly a reference point to start the process.
That's your neutral, like ground zero. Okay.
Correct. And then we're going to go to different areas of the house. And then those areas are going to tell us what the level of the elevation is compared to my 0 point or my reference point.
Gotcha.
And are areas that are lower, then we would, of course, make recommendations as far as a repair in those areas.
And is there an acceptable amount of differentiation from 0 to, hey, you've got an issue here, let's address it?
Absolutely. So we're looking at 7/10 of an inch is about what we're looking at as far as acceptable tolerance of deviation. Okay. So anything that's beyond 7/10 of an inch is typically where we're going to make a recommendation to have something done in those areas.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that makes sense. And so that said, let's say we hit our 7/10 of an inch plus threshold. Sure. How do you prevent future issues from happening? And again, I guess we're kind of talking about slab or concrete foundations. We'll talk about off-grid stuff in a minute. But sure. What do you do to keep more problems or a greater issue from occurring?
Sure. So we have a multiple variety of products. Typically on slab homes, we're talking about trying to support the footing of the home. We're going to use a helical pier type system. Okay. And then if we're doing any sort of lifting to get the home back to a level position, we're probably going to recommend using some polyurethane foam underneath the slab as well, because once you lift the exterior, now that slab on the interior is going to be hanging. There's going to be a void underneath it.
Right.
And you want to make sure that void's taken care of by injecting polyurethane foam to fill the resulting void and make sure that slab is sitting on something that's strong and sturdy.
Cool. And then on, do you guys also deal with stuff that's off grade? I mean, a lot of our houses in older neighborhoods, portions of the beach, Riverside, Avondale, San Marco, um, various parts of town, there are many
Right.
off-grade houses. So, and that's honestly where I observe more foundation issues than in other places, at least in my daily routine. So, do y'all deal with that also?
We do. And actually, I feel like a lot of people believe that most of the homes in Jacksonville are slab. And I would actually say most of the homes that we see are off-grade homes.
Right.
And obviously, they have a lot of settlements, especially that older homes in the Avondale, Riverside area that were built 100 years ago. So
Sure.
we do use a product that's called a Smart Jack that we put underneath the house, that we put underneath girders, or we can add supplemental beam if it's needed, and that'll help permanently stabilize those off-grade homes. And then we have the capability to attempt to lift those back up to a more level position if that's what the homeowner would like for us to do. And on top of that, we also, on off-grade homes, you might get some mold in there, some wood
Mhm.
rot, termite damage, stuff like that. So we offer what's called a crawl space encapsulation that can actually keep the crawl space at a keep it dry and keep the humidity low so you don't get those type of issues.
Now, how do you do that? That's actually news to me. What's the crawl space encapsulation entail for scope of work?
Sure. So we actually isolate the crawl space. We fully encapsulate it. We seal off the vents, and then we put in a dehumidifier, either a sump pump or a drain.
Okay.
And the dehumidifier is what keeps the proper humidity temperature. And then, of course, the sump pump is there in the event that, say, you have a plumbing leak and allow the water to escape, or
You get
also,
water. Yeah.
yeah, also grab the water from underneath the liner and get it out from
Okay.
underneath the house.
And
So,
then you used a word a little bit earlier that I'll ask you on. You said permanently correct or permanently something or other. So what does
sure.
permanently mean from Alpha Foundation's perspective? What kind of guarantee do I have? What kind of insurances do I get?
Sure. So all of our products come with either a long-term or a lifetime warranty.
Okay.
That is fully transferable if you ever decide to sell the home at no
Yeah.
cost. So when all our solutions are designed by the number one manufacturer for foundation products in the world, which is Foundation Support Works, and so they are testing these products in different climates and conditions to make sure that they are long-term and lifetime warranty products.
Sure. Sure. And then the question that I know is ever present on my mind when I have to do any sort of work at the house, especially if I have to do foundation related work, is what is this going to cost me? So give me some, and I know it entirely depends on what the particular job is, but some idea for here's something we did in the last 6 to 12 months that was at the lower end of the totem pole, and here's the opposite, and anything in between is kind of fair game.
Sure. So you're obviously dealing with a lot of different products in the foundation business. So we
Right.
do we do offer a lot of different solutions. I would say typically you're going to be anywhere on the low end of about $1,500
Okay.
to high end is say $50,000, $60,000. I would
Sure.
say the high end's a little more rare. You're probably going to end up anywhere between the $5,000 to $15,000 area with most homes that we see. But
Well,
it could
and the truth of the matter is if you're in the low end, that is a well-placed investment, because if you let something like that alone and just leave it be, eventually you end up with windows that don't open and close or even function because they're all stuck and whacked
Mhm.
out, or plumbing lines that are getting twisted and bent and distorted, electrical issues, like it a foundation problem. And I don't know why I'm saying this, I should probably let you explain this, but it dovetails into all sorts of other issues. I'm sure you've seen that too, where things have gone horribly wrong.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I'm glad you went into that a lot. It's people we commonly ask us, how much worse is this going to get, or how much longer is it going
Right.
to take for it to continue to settle? And the truth of the answer is no one knows. All we can do is provide a solution that will permanently take care of the problem to give you the peace of mind that it's not going to get worse. Because,
Sure.
like you said, the longer you wait to try to fix a foundation problem, it can only get worse. And if it does, then the cost of it's probably going to go up, not only from our end, but then also from a cosmetic end for the homeowner.
doing all sorts of other stuff. Well, this has been good stuff. I don't want to keep you. This is even David's off day as we're talking here. So he never sleeps. He never stops helping people with their foundations. But if somebody does have a question about a foundation or a problem that they want you to take a look at, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my cell phone number is 904-588-2781, or they can reach me through email at david@alphafoundations.com.
There it is, David Cleveland, Alpha Foundations. Thank you so much. If anybody has real estate questions, give me a call, jeff@era.com for email. Call is 904-405-1995. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure in the next weeks or months, I will be in touch with some sort of foundation issue or question. So have a great weekend. We'll catch up soon, David.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.